Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Eric.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. It is Monday.
Sure is.
And, well, what's new?
Literally nothing is new, and that's a very rude question to ask me on day 45 of this quarantine. What is new?
You went outside for the first time in a bunch of days.
I guess that's new.
Yeah.
I walked outside. I have a bandana. I tried building a mask.
Bandana? Like you're robbing a bank.
Like I'm robbing a bank. Or like I'm RMR. What was the guy's name? The guy who sang the country song. He's like a black dude.
Yeah. I don't remember his name.
I don't know. But
that feels like forever ago.
He has like a ski mask.
Yeah.
And he has cutouts for his eyes and mouth, which would not be helpful in... It's like the opposite of what you should be doing.
He was a viral sensation for about a day, and then the newest viral sensation was COVID-19.
Well, the guy just got signed to Warner.
Did he really?
Yeah, they announced it yesterday.
Wow.
So he's at the top of the mind for me.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
If you're him, do you keep wearing the mask?
Yes, because I think that he's somebody who like was around before.
Oh.
I think that he was around.
Oh.
And then now...
Changed his persona.
Yep. And now he's here with the song.
But now he's got to wear the mask for the rest of his life?
Yeah. Whatever.
I guess that's the world we live in, though.
Well, I mean, Kiss did it.
Was Kiss a different band before?
Kiss was a bunch of losers before. Then they were losers with makeup.
Yeah.
And they could like touch their chins with their tongues or whatever.
No more.
Yeah.
No more. Don't touch your face.
Yeah.
Jeff, who's on the podcast today?
On the podcast today is Crooked Eye.
Crooked Eye, man. First of all, a great human being.
Yes.
A great soul. We did meet him more than a decade ago. We've talked with him a few times through the years. We've worked together a few times through the years.
He always shouts us out on Instagram Live.
He's a great dude.
Yeah.
And it was really nice to catch up with him. It's been a particularly tough year, a tough 2020 for him personally.
Which we get into.
We do talk about that. But also we talk about the bounce back and how you can get up every day and what propels him forward.
Yeah.
Shout out to Crooked Eye.
We also have Savon on the podcast.
Okay, Savon the Don.
Is that a nickname that like I just don't know about?
It's from the Joe Budden Podcast.
Oh, they do call him that?
Yeah.
I thought it was just you. I was like, oh.
No. I didn't make it up. No, there was a time when he was Savon the Don. Then he was Savon the Duh because like he was not acting like a Don.
Okay.
So he was just Savon the Duh. And then it was just like Savon.
Yeah. I'm sorry to say, I famously, I don't listen to podcasts.
That's your thing.
That's my thing. I don't listen to podcasts.
Well, Savon, Jeff, part of the Joe Budden Podcast.
No, I mean, I know him. I find him very nice.
Yeah, and we do talk about how he linked up with the Joe Budden Podcast in the first place.
Yes.
We talk about what it's like on the island of Long Island. What he's going through.
You are losing your mind.
Out there.
Island of Long.
Island of Long.
Yuck.
Yeah. The Isle of Long. Long Island. He's out there in Long Island. We talk about what life is like out there. Because that's a hard hit spot. Queens is a hard hit spot. We get into that. And then Jeff.
We have Cleverly
Chloe down there in Dallas, Texas. A different kind of speed out there.
Yeah.
And we talked to her about...
the realities of losing your job
Yeah.
and how you can structure your days and just like, I don't know, just a very affirming sort of conversation.
Very
with Cleverly
positive
Chloe.
attitude. Yeah, she's a great person. We knew her when she lived up here in New York.
I feel like this is a very like positive, sort of like good start to the week episode.
We deserve that. And you deserve that out there.
Yeah,
so
you deserve.
Thank you to everybody who has been rocking with us and listening to Quarantine Radio every single day.
The original Quarantine Radio. Ray's famous original Quarantine Radio.
Do you think that people who are out there get mixed up between Tory Lane's Quarantine Radio, which was started on March 24th, and It's the Real's Quarantine Radio, which was started 8 days before that?
Damn.
Jeff, I'm just asking.
Do I think that anybody confuses them?
Yes.
No, but actually, you want to know what? If a notification comes up and it says like the locks on Quarantine Radio,
Good
or
for us.
The Griselda Records on Quarantine Radio,
Great for us. Black Thought on Quarantine Radio.
Yeah.
Or
could you imagine any of those people on
his
Quarantine Radio?
On Quarantine Radio 2.
Yeah. Quarantine Radio.
It's like Gallagher 2.
Yeah, Trace.
No, I cannot. But then again, who knows? Maybe
Whatever.
this is Tory Lane's Quarantine Radio. I don't even know
I
anymore.
invited Tory on the day that he started it.
Yeah, you said, hey, we have a show called this. you're starting a show. And
well, no, I didn't say it to him. I said it to his manager.
Yeah, and you said, you have this operation, and if you want to come on, haha. And I guess the haha was no.
Yeah, that's like a very nervous laugh, just like, haha.
Jeff, if you want to help us go forward, if you want to keep this ship afloat and keep the momentum for what is not only a however long we've been in this quarantine run, but also a 3-year run before that, and another 10-year run before that, how can people contribute and be a part of this whole thing?
You can go to patreon.com/itsthereal.
And for anybody who doesn't know what Patreon is,
it is a subscription service.
Yep.
Where you contribute a set amount of money.
Yep. Each month.
Every month. And we give you more content on top of the content that you're already getting every day.
Yeah. So we'll do like Zooms, or eventually when we are able to go to the post office again, we'll send you new merch. We will do experiences that really are meaningful and long-lasting and are specific to our contributors. Shout out to everybody who has been a part of this so far. We have a great list of dope people all around the world who have joined us at patreon.com/itsthereal.
By the way, if you contribute $500 to us
a month,
yeah, I will help you rob a CVS for their toilet paper.
You got the mask.
I have the mask.
Jeff, let's now get on the phone with Crooked Eye.
What up? What up? It's the real.
The Latin Teddy Ruxpin.
Yeah, man. It's I. What's good?
Yo, how are you living in these crazy days of days?
Man, I'm just hanging in there. I feel like I'm going to be a better version of myself on the other side of this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Learning things, doing things, reflecting,
Have you been cooking 3 meals a day? Have you been like working out? What is part of an everyday scenario for you?
Well, getting up wondering how do I work this new equipment that I bought so I can record at the house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've been looking at this equipment my whole career, bro, and I ain't even reached over and just start playing with it, messing with it, touching it until now. So, it's like, where the hell do I begin? You know what I mean? But other than that, I've just been chilling, man. I've been eating real healthy because, I got high blood pressure. A lot of people don't know that. So I got to watch what I eat. You know what I mean? So I've been eating, like, waking up oatmeal. You feel me?
Yeah.
With some organic honey.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Throw a little almond in there. Cut up a couple slices of banana in there. You know what I mean? Keep it real G on that level. And
there you
then,
go.
Lunchtime, I'm with the spinach, getting that potassium in. You feel?
Yo, you're going to come out of this being like fucking bodybuilder Crooked Eye, you know?
Oh, I feel like you're going to be like Skinny T.
Oh, man. I wish, dog. I wish, but I know I'll be a little better, though. You know what I mean? When I come out of this, man. Hopefully we all will. That's
absolutely. Does learning how to operate all that equipment give you a new appreciation for engineers and everybody who works in a studio?
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. And I always appreciated them, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I see a lot of people who record themselves and do it. I've been really fortunate, dog. Like, that's really, man, that's a tough job. And to get the sound right, I'm messing around on this Pro Tools. I got this Chaotica ball. I don't know, a lot of people might not know what that is, but that's like a noise canceller. It cancels noise. So you don't have to necessarily be in a soundproof room. You can just put
that's dope.
That Chaotica ball over your microphone.
Yeah.
I've been using that, and you know what I'm saying, trying to figure out how to rap the whole rap in one take. You know what I'm saying? Because my punching game is garbage right now. You know what
I mean, like, are you getting tips from any engineers on how to actually do stuff, or are you just like, are you looking on YouTube, or are you just trying to figure it out like moment by moment?
Well, one thing about me is I have a PhD from YouTube University.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? I watch tutorials. I can watch tutorials on stuff that I ain't even interested in. You know,
wait, like what?
And just watch, like, damn, how do they carve wood.
Yeah.
Sit back and watch it. But
listen, no, I'm all about that. I watch YouTube videos about full engine rebuilds, about like car restorations, about like barn find cars. I haven't owned a car in 13 years since we lived in the city, and I'm all in. When someone has like a pickup truck that they put back on the road, I'm like feeling emotional for them. You know what I'm saying? I am all in.
Exactly.
Also, Eric was watching like lock picking videos.
Yeah.
Oh, you said lock picking videos?
Yeah.
It's all about the process, you know?
Yeah, Eric has a real dark side.
Bro. That's a real dark side, especially in this era right now. You know, people coming in for that tissue, boy. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, bro, just been doing that and calling engineers and learning. But that's cool. You know what I mean? I'm not ready, though. Like, Royce hit me, and he was like, hey, man, I need to send you something. And he told me the lineup of the people who were going to be on the song. And I'm like, my engineer skills ain't at that level. So,
you could send them like all raw files for like 6 hours. Have them do it. Yeah.
Man, I'm like, dog. But yeah, that's been cool. And just binge watching everything on Roku, man.
There you go.
What I'm saying? Prime, all that. You know, just hanging in there, man.
Well,
you know
Crook,
what I mean?
are you feeling inspired creatively? Because this is a time right now where there's a lot of darkness outside. There's a lot of like heaviness in the news, and there's not a lot of pop culture going on. So it's hard to like, you know, look for something out there to creatively move you along. Are you feeling like you have, you know, that creative energy in you to put down, you know, what you want to say properly?
Yeah, man. But the problem is, I wake up and I say, yeah, I'm about to go out and I'm going to go downstairs and create 6 songs. You know, you know what I mean? You get this big tall order for yourself. And then when I get down there, I'm just staring at the equipment. So,
yeah.
You know, I get inspiration from listening to old music, man, and I usually when the motivation is not there for me, I lean on my discipline. You know what I'm saying? And I use that as a crutch because I haven't been like super in a zone. Like, and it's crazy because usually I'm like always in my bag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just like, that's why I do the weeklies because it just comes bam, bam, bam. But right now I'm kind of feeling for the world, man. So I think you know, doing this Sober House Saturdays that I'm about to start doing tomorrow, you know, talking to people who are struggling with addiction and trying to, you know, recover, you know, talking to people. I'm inspired to do that kind of stuff right now, more so than just go do a 16, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I very much enjoy your conversations. I was watching the one that you were doing with Joel Ortiz. Talk about where your relationship is these days as opposed to when you guys were working like super close together in Slaughterhouse.
Oh man, me and Joel, for starters, we you know, I talk to Joel all the time, check in on him, he checks in on me, you know what I mean? I was just in New York before this whole craziness broke out, and you know, I spend a lot of time with Joel, just chilling in the lab with him and seeing what he was working on and things of that nature. So, you know, me and Joel, we keep in contact a lot, man, and just, you know, kind of just talk about life and music and what inspires us now and, you know, things of that nature. I talk to Royce a lot too. I talk to Royce every day probably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We always talking about something. Me and Joe, we don't talk as much as we used to. You know what I'm saying? So I think we're taking some steps to try to regain our connection that we had when we were in the group.
Yeah.
As far as me and Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crook, as a lifetime West Coaster, can you talk about what this 2020 has been like? Because you're not only talking about like, you know, the COVID-19 scenario where we're all, you know, worldwide dealing with this, but the Kobe Bryant tragedy, that just shook your whole city and left you guys pretty down. Can you just say what this year has been like so far?
Yo, let me tell you something, man. This year has been very, very, very rough. It's been very rough for Los Angeles. It's been very rough for me personally. You know what I'm saying? It's bringing some sort of wisdom with it, though. Because, I always try to look at what are the life lessons in everything that's going on. So, Kobe, Gigi, people actually posting the helicopter smoking, online, totally out of nowhere. And that's my favorite basketball player of all time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's Kobe Bryant. Since he was coming in for Eddie Jones off the bench and bricking 20 times in a row. You know what I'm saying? That was my favorite. I was like, I like him because he's not afraid to shoot. When
Still going to take that shot.
So, so I've been riding with Kobe since he got on the Laker floor. And it really was it was a tragedy. And, going to places, it's kind of like now when we see all these people wearing masks for the coronavirus, or in L.A., in other parts of the world for sure, but out this way, everybody had Kobe Bryant jerseys on for like a whole week. Some sort of Kobe Bryant merchandise was being worn in every supermarket, every store. You go downtown L.A. and you see the buses, rest in peace, Black Mamba on the buses. And you see the signs in people's restaurants, we love you, Kobe. Like, it was just really, really a trippy thing to experience. And, heart goes out to his family, man, his wife, just craziness. And then, my father passed away out of nowhere, you know what I mean? And
very sorry to hear that.
It was like, yeah, man, thank you. I got to talk to him before he passed about some things that I really wanted to talk to him about. I got to say some things I really wanted to say to him. And he died shortly after our conversation. And then, my children's mother, her mother passed in the same week. So my kids lost 2 grandparents in 1 week.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So it was like, yo, this is, and then we go to the funerals and we come back from the funerals and coronavirus. So it was like
everything is just upended. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like I've lived 5 years this year. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
We lost our dad 10 years ago, and we had the opportunity, like you, to say something to him before he passed. Because he was in hospice, he had cancer, and we had that moment to be able to express how we felt and leave with a little bit of peace. It doesn't mean that everything is settled. It doesn't mean that everything is right, but just having that closure is I can't even express how important it is.
It's super meaningful, and so if there was any silver lining to the way that our father went, the cancer was very quick moving. It was like 6 weeks from diagnosis to his passing. But I think that there was the blessing of being able to say goodbye, to be able to have that peace with it. And I feel awful for people who don't have that opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Same thing. My father died of cancer. It was very quick. Same scenario. And you're right. It did feel a lot better to be able to have that closure, you know what I'm saying? And put it in the fuel tank and say, hey, let's keep going. Let's keep making our parents proud, you know what I'm saying? And keep the grind going and doing things that they would want us to be doing.
Well, so Crook, let me ask you then, sorry to interrupt, but what allows you to get up in the morning today with purpose and with gratitude?
Man, I'm real big on gratitude and purpose. You know what I'm saying? I'm big on gratitude because I believe in the laws of vibration. So, if I'm vibrating on a frequency of gratitude, I feel like, good things will keep coming my way. And I'm just thankful, dog. I come from nothing. You know what I'm saying? some people will look at my career and they'll say, well, he's nowhere near as successful as so-and-so. But they don't know where I come from. So the gap between where I come from and where I am today is a huge amount of success.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm super happy and grateful for it. You know what I mean? I'm super grateful for it. And then purpose is just, you know, I always felt like I was born to do music. I was born to do some sort of service to the world. I was born to do what I'm doing right now. And, you know, I got a lot of people that I take care of. And, you know, they are my why. Why do you do this? You know, I take care of a lot of people, and I want to make sure that they're good. You know what I mean? And then I want to, you know, serve the world. You know, I want to serve the world, and I want to express myself artistically. So, you know, those things just drive me. I couldn't imagine living without purpose and gratitude. Couldn't imagine it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say I'm always, whenever I think of you, so thankful for the way that you welcomed us in with like no questions. Like we met you a little over a decade ago, and though we haven't like talked much in the intervening years, the first time we met you, you invited us when you said, if you're ever in LA, like I got you. And like, yeah. I just appreciate that so much.
Yes, sir. It's always, man. If they ever let us get on a plane again, the offer is always there. You know what I'm saying? Even though the tickets are like $15 right now. From New JFK to LAX. But, yeah, dog, that's just what it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? We all together, man.
Crook,
we are all together.
You and a lot of people actually these days are proving that no one can be put in a box. You know, that you're not just a rapper, you know, you're not just, you know, an artist in these terms. You get to decide what your voice is worth and how you can express it and the method in which you can put that out there. And I think that not only what you've been doing on Instagram, but certainly the long form interviews that you've been doing for the last like maybe a year now have been super impressive. When did you get the idea to sit down, have those one-on-one conversations, and really provide an aspect, a perspective that people weren't getting on a regular basis?
Thank you, man. I just, you know, when I started Crook's Corner, I just wanted to start it off on Twitter and Instagram. You know what I mean? I looked at my house and I said, you know what? This house needs to start paying me. I'm tired of paying for it.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, I want to start doing some business in here. So I looked at one corner of my house. I was like, hey, I'm going to take over that corner right there. put some rap stuff up, you know what I mean? Get on live and just start talking about what I love, the culture. And I started asking questions on Twitter, and long story short, people were interested. You know, I said, you know what? I don't want to go on Twitter and talk about what I ate for lunch or what, you know what I mean? What movie I watch. I want to go and talk about what I love, rap music. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that once I started doing that, I knew that it would eventually evolve into me sitting down with rappers and discussing hip hop, and you know, it did, you know, fortunately, and it's just dope because I know it's tough, man. If you're not going to be out here with the clickbait, if you're not going to be out here trying to pull out some sort of controversial statements out of your guests, or if you're trying, you know, you're not trying to, you know, talk about some messy drama that people want to hear about, it might be harder to get views. It might be harder to elevate. It might be harder to make a super big platform, you know what I'm saying? But I still think there's people who want to just hear their favorite artists talk about rap, talk about what they love, you know? And I'm thankful that I was able to do that, man. And you know, I had some great guests, E40, Snoop Dogg, Exhibit, Jermaine Dupri, Tech Nine, you know what I mean? All the way Daylight,
Eminem, whatever,
Royce,
you know.
Royce, Eminem, you know what I'm saying? Rakim the guy.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's fine. I think next year you'll like make it into something, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. You know, I might take this serious in another 6 months or so, but But really though, bro, it's been great, man. And I see you guys making content and been making content over the years, man, and keeping your integrity. So it's people with platforms like you that I say, okay, I can do this too. You know what I mean? And I don't have to do some wild, violating craziness to get attention to what I'm trying to do. I could sit down and just be me and just talk about what I love.
Absolutely.
Well, speaking of integrity and speaking of, being true to ourselves, I do want to ask, what messy stuff can you bring to our podcast? Like what R&B stars have you slept with?
There we go.
Like these are the real questions that we've been dying to know. Do we lose Kirk?
Man.
Oh.
Yo, say that one more time. My mom is trying to call me like back to back to back. I'm like, what the heck do you want, mama?
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
I hope everything's all right.
Yeah.
She's straight, bro.
Okay,
she
good.
always call me like that. Go ahead.
Yeah. No,
I was just asking like what messy stuff you can bring to our podcast, but I think it's funnier that you didn't answer.
Oh, what messy stuff I can bring to the podcast?
After you talked about integrity, we're just like, let's really dig into the dirt.
Yeah, hey. Well, you see how much of a drama I got going on. My mother's calling me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the drama for the day for me, dog. Like, I don't know, man. It's so crazy, and that's why when people like, producers from shows like Love and Hip Hop.
Oh my God.
Do you want to be a cast member for Love and Hip Hop Hollywood? I'm like, dude, I wouldn't last a season because I don't have nothing juicy. There's nothing juicy going on that's going to make people get tuned in to seeing Crook. You know what I'm saying? On camera. They're going to see me in my backyard smoking a fucking cigar. That's it.
Well,
so,
Crook,
I don't got too much of that.
No, well, Crook, listen, we love you. Take care of yourself. Continue to eat right. Continue to stay inside. We look forward, when all this is said and done, to reconnecting and seeing you on our coast or yours. And in the meantime, stay healthy, and we'll be checking in, all right?
Hey, man, I love you guys. Thanks a lot, man. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing, man.
Thank you very much.
Real, y'all over there, so y'all near the epicenter, right? Y'all
yeah. No, listen, we're
real safe and real healthy, man. You know what I'm saying?
We're doing all we can do. We appreciate you.
All right, my brothers. Y'all be good. Peace.
All right, Jeff, let's get on the phone with Savon the Don.
Yo.
Savon!
What up?
Yo, what's going on?
What's happening? How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm trying to stay busy. How you guys doing?
The same.
Yeah, we're sting too busy.
Yeah.
That's the real problem here.
Someone was asking the other day, they're like, you've gone from doing all this stuff to being inside all the time. What's one thing that you're going to take from this experience and keep it going forward? And I was like, well, we used to do a podcast once a week, and now we're doing it every day, and
Sheesh.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Well, it's appreciated, bro.
Thank you.
Start there. It's definitely appreciated. Having so much downtime, which most creators, like, we really aren't used to it, and seeing the different people that you guys connect with, and it's dope, and it's inspiring too. Like,
thank you very much.
You.
It's
it's super inspiring.
It's all we can do. You know what I'm saying?
It's either this or a hoverboard. Savon, where are you right now?
I am home. I live in Long Island, so I'm home. I'm quarantined in, man. I'm trying to abide by the rules, even though my brain is starting to scramble a little bit.
Oh, I hear you.
I can't work.
So, Long Island, Queens have been especially like hard hit. I know people are like, hunkered down and pretty scared to go outside. What is the reality of this for you and your neighborhood?
Okay, so where I'm at, it's actually funny you say that. So my brother, he wasn't too abreast of what was going on, so we actually had to make a run out to like Home Depot to just grab some things around the house. And there were people lined outside of Home Depot as if it was a club. Prime time Manhattan, lined up. They were letting people one by one in near my house. Everybody
Ladies
had
free
a mask.
before midnight.
That's right. Hard bottoms only.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if you didn't have gloves or a mask, you couldn't get in.
Wow.
Like, it was one of those things. So they're taking it pretty serious in my area.
Wow.
Yeah. So your work schedule has clearly changed, just like a lot of people's.
For sure.
how is your podcast moving forward through this whole thing, and where do you see the Joe Budden Podcast going as we move forward?
Got it. That's a great question. A lot of people have asked me about both podcasts. So my podcast, the Need to Know podcast, we're trying to figure it out from home, remotely from home. It's a lot of moving parts, and the beautiful thing is like whatever obstacles I faced trying to get my podcast up and running, I can take that information back to Joe and the guys and be like, hey, this works for me, this doesn't work for me. So hopefully we can figure out some type of process to get the Joe Budden Podcast back on the road. Because even for me, somebody who works and I'm in it, I miss it. That was a part of my life too. So, I'm working on some things for my podcast. We actually just shot our first episode from home, and it came out well. The audio came out well.
Dope.
And I want to commend you guys for getting the audio to sound so great from home. Like,
thank you very much.
The setup, but it like I just finished listening to an episode, and y'all are setting the bar high, which is why.
Thank you,
Joe. No problem, for sure. Which is why Joe is like, yo, look, if we can't get it to sound right, we got to figure it out. So,
and I get that part too, because ahead of time, look, the reality was for us who have guests come over to our house, that's not, going to be what we're going to be doing. We're not letting people in no matter how much we love them. And so we were like, we got to switch, and then we got to look into how exactly we can get people on the line. And, listen, we talked to Parks. We talked to our best friend, Greg Mayo. We talked to different people to get an idea of how we can do things. And there are people out there who have good information. And also YouTube is a fantastic resource, I have found.
Absolutely, especially in times like this when you can't leave your house.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
Right. Yeah, but like I worry about Zoom, because I feel like there's a lag there.
Yeah.
And so like I think the chemistry is always like a little bit tricky.
Off. Yeah.
It is, and that's what I experimented with when I did my podcast, and it was. But I think, especially like in our case. In the Joe Budden Podcast case, the chemistry is already built in. Yeah. So even with that slight lag, you can still get the moments. You can still get the jokes, the punchlines. You know what I'm saying? But I do agree, there is like a slight lag.
So, Savon, we had Rory on, it's hard to remember what day is what, but we had Rory on toward the beginning of this whole thing, and you guys were still going to Parks' place and still recording episodes, and it seemed, to Rory at least, that Maul was, was the most concerned. Would you say that's accurate?
I would say yes, that's accurate, but I will give Parks a close second, because Parks is already like a germaphobe without all the coronavirus.
And that's people coming over to his house.
I know.
Yeah, so I'll give a slight edge to Maul, because I watch Maul, go home and he hopped in the Uber and everything. Yeah. And before he got in, he like sprayed the door handle. He put gloves on. Yeah. He looked at the driver and was like, "Yo, where's your gloves?" So I'll give it to Maul.
Savon, you used to work in a warehouse, and that's something that's super important these days, because that's everything that like keeps things running. When you were, I want to know like how you feel about people saying that essential workers equal warehouse workers. Like, did you feel that at the time?
Well, the warehouse that I worked at, we supplied restaurants. So I guess to a degree it is somewhat essential. I actually just found out that one of my old coworkers passed away from the coronavirus. Oh my God. Yeah, from the virus. He was a healthy guy. So, God rest his soul. Yeah. But as far as warehouse workers being essential, I mean, it really just depends on what is inside that warehouse.
That's fair. Like,
if it's hospital supplies there, then, hey, unfortunately, the medical field relies on those supplies, so you have to work, Yeah. But if it's a warehouse full of, like, let's say school supplies, right now the schools are closed. Yeah. So we don't need that warehouse to be open. So I guess it's like give or take.
Yeah. So, okay, on a daily basis now, without the work, and you're staying at home, what do you find yourself doing? Are there any new hobbies you picked up? Are you
any new talents you picked up? Are you like a juggler now?
No, none of those creative talents. What I find myself doing, I have like this obsession with structure. Okay. So I created like an outline of every single day, Monday through Sunday, of what I'm gonna do for that day. since this quarantine started. So I'm home, walking my dog a little bit more, things like that. It's just a matter of not staying up till 4 a.m. on Xbox and waking up at 1 p.m.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Wait, you scheduled your days like minute by minute. Like, are you okay?
No, I'm not. I'm not okay. I'm not. You know how I know I'm not okay? Like, before this quarantine, I was ass in Call of Duty.
Oh.
And now it's me versus the 8-year-old.
Yo.
And I'm getting my KD up, man. I'm killing shit out
Now
here.
here's what I really want to know is that in a pre-COVID-19 world, you were shouted out by Kim Kardashian. Does that even matter anymore in today's reality?
Oh, well, for me, it'll always matter. But
do you have the tweet like printed out and framed at home?
Not yet.
Yeah.
As soon as everything opens up, trust me, it'll be somewhere on my wall. But no, I don't know if it matters, but it was just really an honor, bro. It's like, you know, especially you guys, you know, you do things because you love it. You do things because you want to share it. You do things because you feel in your heart like, yo, this is great content. Yeah. So you never know who's watching. You never know who's listening. And then for it to get to her, of all people.
Unreal.
Like, huh? What?
Yo.
Excuse me? And yeah, so.
How did the word get to you?
The word got to me, actually, I saw the notifications on my phone going crazy. And normally, because I run some of the social media pages for the Joe Budden Pod, my podcast, my personal account. Yeah. So I'm used to like an influx of notifications. But this shit like overloaded my phone. I think my phone almost like reset. It's like I knew I was super trash, but my phone couldn't handle all these notifications. But yeah, I put my phone down for a few and I went back and my phone's going crazy.
Has it changed you?
Nah, man, it hasn't changed me.
Right, you were always industry, you know, even before the Kim K thing. Yeah.
No. Well, honestly, you know what? I will say this. I will say the only change that has been made is that now I get placed 5th on the industry rankings. Undoubtedly. Before I wasn't even mentioned, right? It was only the 4 guys, but now like
now you're a solid 5th.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it.
No, you got to be sprayed down with Lysol because you're filthy out here, you know?
Yeah. Nasty. Yeah. Savon, by the way, so if people don't know, we met at this podcasters meetup.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
And it was...
in Brooklyn.
So many people who I did not want to talk to. Yeah. And Savon was like came over and was like, "Hey, I'm Savon." And I was like, "Oh my God." And I was so happy to actually get to talk to you. Everybody else in that place, not somebody I want to talk to at all.
Yeah, that's love, man. And trust me, the feeling was mutual. Trust me, the feeling was mutual. Honestly, you know, you guys, the place that you guys have in like the ecosystem of podcasting is unlike no other. It inspires people like myself. We spoke about the Warehouse earlier. And the Warehouse is where I got introduced to podcasts because you get that time to just listen and go down the rabbit hole and see what you like and see what you don't like. And your podcast was one at the top. It was like, so when I saw you, I had no choice. It was one of like a groupie moment that I never really want to talk about.
No, man. No, we appreciate that.
Yeah, it was you and your girl and, you know.
Yeah. That was a great moment.
It was, man. So thank you.
Savon, a big thing in streaming now is that listenership has sort of like gone down while people figure out, you know, their routines while they're inside. Music streaming is down, podcast streaming is down. People just don't know what to do. They don't have their commute. They're not like, you know, listening to it in the shower or falling asleep. They're trying to figure it out. What is your personal sort of routine when it comes to listening at home right now? Are you listening to music? Are you listening to podcasts? Are you really like out there like you were before?
No, that's actually a great question because I was thinking of creating like a graphic to tell people, hey, these are times where you can listen to podcasts or consume content or listen to music. So personally, I found that my music consumption has went up.
Wow.
My personal music consumption has gone up. I think prior to COVID-19, I was just caught up in trying to find content and hear content because, you know, you get lost in it and you want to make sure you're abreast. You want to make sure you know what's going on. So I think prior to this, I didn't listen to as much music. But now it's like, again, when I wake up, you clean. Hopefully your houses are clean.
Yeah.
If you're home all day and you're sitting in a dirty house, then
that's
you're
a
doing
problem.
this whole quarantine thing wrong. So while you're cleaning up and just doing things around the house, I find myself listening to music. And even one thing that I've noticed, like the shorter podcasts, because, normally you want to have a longer podcast, but the time frame that you guys have been doing these quarantine radios have been perfect, because I clean one room, I clean the next room, and then it's almost done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
just
doing things around the house.
Yeah.
Wait, were you always data driven?
No, I had to become data driven once I became a part of the podcast, mainly when we actually partnered with Spotify. Obviously Joe, he's super data man. Yeah. And then we got Ian. Ian is he should have been named data. But once I started working with those guys and I saw like, data is everything in the content game. It's going to give you your leverage. It's going to allow you to be in rooms that you probably have no business being in. Because if you don't know how well your podcast is doing, then how can you sell yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can you partner with anybody?
So this is this is like a question maybe for a longer conversation, like if we were to do a full episode of A Waste of Time with you, but like, how did you get onto working with the Joe Budden guys?
Okay. Well, the answer may not be as long as you think.
It's fine.
Did you run into them at that same podcast hangout in Brooklyn?
No, I don't think
imagine any of them there.
I can't.
Nah,
I can't.
They actually made fun of me for going there, but that's a whole different story. So like I said, I'm a fan of this content thing, and back when I was in the warehouse, as I would listen to you guys, the Brilliant Idiots, and Joe's podcast, there was like a stretch. I want to say within episodes between 115 to like 130, right? There was a stretch where Rory and Joe would mention, "Hey, we need we need an intern for the podcast." Like, they said it jokingly, they said it in passing, but they said it at least 2 or 3 times within that stretch. And I was at the warehouse. I was listening to the podcast. Joe, nobody was on the timeline, but I know how often Joe is on the timeline. So I just tweeted. I said, "Hey, Joe, I heard you need an intern. I'm available." Had no idea. It's kind of like the Kim K tweet.
Yeah.
I just threw it out there. I just threw it out there, and I made sure I tagged him the same way I made sure I tagged Kim.
Yeah.
And he saw it. And once he responded to it, like a lot of the people who follow me, because before I started working with you, I interned heavy. I did a lot of internships, Hot 97, a few other online magazines. Like, I have a writer's background. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people knew that I was trying to work towards something. So I guess they was like favoriting his tweet and retweeting his tweet, and it gained his attention. And then, next thing I know, I told him where I was located. He followed me after I told him where I was located. And once you do something like that, to me, I look at it as an opportunity. Yeah. It's like, okay, Joe Budden didn't just follow me. Like, I'm not a Dominican from Dykeman with big guys and a fat ass. Like, he doesn't just want to chop it up with me. So this is telling me something else. And once he followed me, that gave me access to DM him, which I did. And I didn't want to be too thirsty, because it's important how you introduce yourself as well. So
absolutely,
I gave it a few days before I DM'd him, and he was just like, "Hey, we record on Tuesdays. Meet me here. Pull up." And it was as simple as that, bro. It went from a tweet to going directly to Joe. It wasn't like there were internship program. I didn't meet Ian first or anybody else. It was, me to Joe, and
taking an opportunity.
On board.
Yeah, that's really dope.
Yeah.
Very dope.
Also, I do like that when I was like, "Hey, this might be like a long thing," you were like, "No, it's super short." And then you were like, "All right, we'll meet somewhere in the middle." Savon, Ian is also from Long Island.
Yes.
What is one stereotype about the neighborhood that he grew up in?
The stereotype that he grew up in. I'll say this: the area that Ian grew up in is actually it's a little hood. Like, I was kind of surprised. It's not completely hood, but it wasn't just white picket fences, and it's not the stereotypical, hey, Long Island, rich kid type of neighborhood. Like, no.
Oh, no. By the way,
too far.
I know nothing about where he's from. I just know that he is from Long Island.
Yeah.
He's from Long Island, and it's a nice area.
Well, that's good. Well, listen, Savon, I hope that this time off treats you well. I hope that you stay safe, and we send our love to you. Stay inside as much as you can, and
absolutely.
And shout out to all the essential workers out there, whether they're in warehouses doing true heroic work, or
if they're furloughed from the Joe Budden Podcast.
For sure. And I want to say shout out to you guys for this quarantine radio. I know Tory Lane's kind of he tried to take the name of what you guys are doing. But this is a lot better feel to know that, hey, I can be on quarantine radio without getting naked. Thank you guys.
By the way, we got girls over there. They're showing off. It's crazy.
Well, thank you for not asking me to take my clothes off. I like this version better.
Savon the Don, we appreciate you, all right?
Yes, indeed, guys. Stay safe.
Jeff, let's call down to Dallas, Texas, and talk to our friend, cleverly, Chloe.
Hola.
Chloe!
What's up? Hell no, you ain't gon' buck. All that yapping at your mouth. Gon' get your whip up. Shorty, what's up? Hell no, you ain't gon' buck.
Yeah.
All that...
That's the energy that we bring to your day. Chloe, how are you?
I appreciate it. I'm really good. It's Friday, Can't complain.
Is it Friday?
Yeah, are you able to differentiate, the days?
Honestly, I've been trying to keep some sort of normalcy. I got paid for my other job, so that's the only reason why I
that marks, Friday.
Mm-hmm. Hi, guys.
Hey.
So wait, so at the beginning of quarantine, you were actually laid off. And so, what is your mental like? How are you keeping some sort of sense of normalcy? What is your schedule?
It's so crazy. I think, so I literally went on vacation in the middle of this kind of outbreaking, but it wasn't full lockdown. So I was in New York and Jamaica, and then I had to go back to New York, and something just told me get back to Texas before you get stuck in New York, and thank God I did.
Wow.
So by the time I got back here, I was still employed, and then a week and a half later, they laid me and 25 people off. So it was kind of a blessing in disguise. I was freakishly happy about it. It's not a normal reaction.
Yeah.
These are not normal times.
No, it's not.
Was it a job that you liked?
So this is the thing. I've been in recruiting for the past 5 years, right? And it paid my bills.
Yeah.
But is it something that I wanted to do? No, but it's just that hard, fine line as a creative that you walk. It's am I going to be able to pay my bills realistically during this passion that I love? Or do I need to still hold down a full-time job?
Yeah.
So I've been in that space since I started, in just working full-time jobs and doing my extracurricular after hours or weekends or whenever, you know what I mean? So this was honestly, what I asked and prayed to God for. It was Lord, I just want a way to be able to create and put out my content and build my brand, but not work for somebody else that I hate.
Okay, what I'm hearing is that you prayed for the pandemic.
No, I did not. No.
Chloe went on vacation and she manifested this whole thing.
Yeah, what else is on your mood board besides a pandemic?
Bro, no, don't get me wrong. This is a terrible, crazy time for everybody. This is not, I said, it's not normal, but the situation I'm in, it's a blessing for me because I'm able to have ways of supporting myself and also being able to create. So it's I found the beauty in the chaos, if you will.
Yeah.
Everything is bigger in Texas, including Chloe's dreams.
Yeah, there you go.
Chloe, you've been down in Texas for how long at this point?
Oh, since August. So 8 months.
Yeah. And you've made it your home. You've gotten comfortable down there. How is it, though, being inside and sort of not dealing with any other Texans on a regular basis?
Well, so, okay, I go to Walmart and Target every week, but that's my only social interaction. And I was at the pool the other day. One of my friends, her sister has a private house, so I went to the pool. But it's, for me, I'm an only child. So me being by myself is fine, Like, this doesn't bother me. Like, I love actually having my alone time. It's just making sure I don't just get distracted and like get lazy and not do anything productive. That's been my main core focus, is like, how do I stay productive in this time?
Yeah, I mean, like, but also, do you feel being in Texas, like, and your family is on the East Coast, do you feel far apart from everybody, or is that, you know, also baked into the idea of like, you're fine being independent, you're fine being alone?
Yeah, like my family and I, we check in. Like, I have a really like good connection with my mom. Like, my mom is my immediate family, obviously, but like my dad, my brothers, they're all fine. Majority of my family. Oh,
happy National Sibling Day to you and yours, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you. There's 7 of us. Ooh. I didn't have that many pictures, but like for the most part, I'm very blessed and very fortunate. None of my family has been affected by this pandemic, so that kind of gives me peace, and I'm able to kind of sleep better at night. It is weird just being on the east, on the west, in the south, and my family's on the East Coast. But
were you just doing like a Lil Jon song, like, or like just naming down bottom?
Yeah. I forgot Rough where Riders? I was. I don't even remember where I am. I'm like, oh yeah, this is the South. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, gosh. Yeah.
I think everything is forgiven now. Yeah. Like, we don't remember days. We don't know where we are. It's fine.
Yeah.
It is.
It's
but
amnesia.
I mean, I think the only thing that's like I'm focused on is just making sure that when we do come out of this, you know, what is that going to mean for me? What am I going to be able to contribute going forward? You know, so that's kind of like where my head's at.
What has this period of time given you and taught you about yourself?
It's taught me that I'm definitely in a better mental headspace than I ever was. I think if this had happened like 2 or 3 years ago, I would probably have reacted to everything that's been going on completely differently. I think I'm more focused, and and of all the things that I've experienced in my creative career, I think now I've come to a point where everything makes sense for me to continue working towards the brand that I've built for myself. So I just kind of feel more disciplined right now, which is a good thing, which I don't think I had ever felt in previous years. Does
the discipline carry over to you cooking meals, or you making sure that you're watching TV a certain part of your day, or that you are, you know, FaceTiming someone at a certain hour?
How regimented is your day?
So I try to make sure, like, I get up with an agenda and a goal every day. And I think the good thing that would help me was that I went on this weight loss journey in the beginning of the year. So from January 2020, I kind of started a whole new way of life in terms of like my eating, my physical like workout habits. Like, I created a whole new regimen of myself where I lost 30 pounds. And like that type of discipline I had never done before. So now that translates into me, you know, how I feed my spirit, right? The books that I'm reading, to the time that I'm writing and journaling, to the times that I'm talking with my team, to the time that I spend with my friends, and time that I have just for myself. I literally kind of plan my week for me. And then whatever else I feel like doing, I throw in there and spruce it up. But it definitely gives me a sense of normalcy in this time. And also it makes me feel like if I don't accomplish what I've written down, then I've failed. I feel guilty at the end of the week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. In your weight loss journey, what's the biggest hurdle? Like, what's the point where it's like, oh, okay, now I understand that this is an everyday thing? Like, some people say, like, you have to do workouts for like a month, or you have to, like, you know, make sure that you're eating a certain way for like a week or something like that. Was there a certain period of time where you're like, oh, now this feels like a natural thing for me?
Once I got to February, because January, I literally, you know, kind of told everybody, you know, what I was eliminating and sharing my progress in terms of just no alcohol, types of food I was eating. You know, I've switched to more of a more plant-based seafood lifestyle, kind of vegan, not really. So it's literally just like my life now, and like people respect that. I think by the time February came and my clothes fit differently, you know, I felt better about my routine. Like, the gym became a part of my weekly routine, and it was like, I wanted to get there. That was my safe haven. That was my outlet for the day, you know, just to kind of release. So I think being able to find that release and find that consistency, it's part of your life. It's no longer a chore. It's like one of the things you have to do. It's like along with waking up and brushing your teeth. You know, it's like, this is what I do today, and that's it. Even like down to the vitamins I take. Yeah. You know, it's just my life is more balanced than it ever was. So I feel I'm in a space where I can contribute.
Jeff and I, in this quarantine period, I don't think went into it with a plan of like, hey, let's become yogis. You know, it was like, right. But, you know, 10, 15 days, 20 days into it, you sort of, and you get that routine in your life, you're like, oh yeah, this is a part of my day and this is a part of me.
Well, it's also the idea of us doing a podcast every day. Never thought that I would be doing this.
And so like, thing.
We have a schedule where it's just like, we do calls for an hour, then we do yoga, and
then you get into editing and you structure your day. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's a completely different life than I had in New York, where my life was, okay, go to work. Then after work, whose event do I have to go to? What listening session or what after work party or whatever? And that was my routine. There was no taking time from me mentally or physically in that routine. It was constantly on the go. And I didn't know how to balance back then. So I knew I needed to remove myself or find an environment where I could find that balance. And now that's what I've had to do. Like, don't get me wrong, I still miss being able to like link up and go outside and see you guys.
Of course.
But I knew I wasn't doing it in the proper way where I found balance. I wasn't disciplined enough to handle that lifestyle.
You weren't disciplined because you were still hanging out with Mouse Jones.
Chloe, we've been asking a bunch of people about recommendations because there's a lot of people who are just cycling through everything in Netflix and not finding anything. Or there's people who are like, I've read all my books. I don't know what to read next. Do you have any recommendations for things that have gotten you through this? Music to listen to, whatever.
So going outside the box, I know it's weird that adults are like crying from boredom more than children.
That's real.
I do tell people to cut so the thing what I've done is I've cut liquor out throughout the week. And like, I wait till Friday. It's like, okay, now I can drink on Friday. That's my happy time. Because I do think that we're going to have a serious alcohol problem, coming out of this.
Yeah.
People just drink every day.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the best way to go. But puzzles, like I know my friend and I just ordered like a 1,000-piece puzzle. We got a puzzle we're going to do.
Wow.
I don't care how childish it is. I have coloring books that I've recently purchased and I color every day.
So, okay, here's the thing.
That's for me.
I've heard coloring books from a number of people. I've also heard puzzles from a bunch of people. Puzzles, apparently, because I read a New York Times article about this, are experiencing a shortage because it's,
so many people are ordering
them.
them?
Everybody's ordering puzzles.
Jeez.
And they're all handmade.
Is that right?
Because they do these 1,000 pieces, and none of those 1,000 pieces can link up unless they're with the one piece that they're meant to link up with.
Yeah, right.
And so
that's a bar, by the way.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Bars.
Yeah. Ooh, I didn't. Everybody wants gems from us, and here they are. But yeah, so like they're getting like holiday level sales in April of 2020.
Well, then let me ask you this, Chloe. What is more important to you, toilet paper or a jigsaw puzzle?
I mean, obviously, toilet paper is the most sustainable thing. Then I guess to further answer your question, like what has worked for me in like just understanding what I want to do and what my goals are. Obviously, everybody's careers are differently, but taking time, and I just talked about this on Twitter, taking time out to enjoy just the quiet and the serenity of what's happening right now. Like literally sitting in a room for 15 minutes or 20 minutes and just kind of like journaling, writing down your thoughts, just even notating this time and understanding like if you come out of this, obviously, healthy and sane, what it is that you want to accomplish when you get back outside, even if it's those little things, you know what I mean? Or just, even just like going for a strange little walk, wherever you can walk. If you can go somewhere, that's fine. You know what I mean? I just think that we've become so trained in always having to do something. We've lost the ability to kind of just sit still and be. Yeah. And I think that's where we're at right now in the world is just we're forced to take a reset and like a calm, peaceful time out.
Yeah. I've never been to Dallas, but I think I imagine it's like a driver's city, I
think for sure.
And so how close are you to your neighbors? And also like, are you able to go for walks or is everybody outside? Like, tell me what Dallas is like right now.
So downtown Dallas is on lockdown. Downtown Dallas is kind of like a little metroplex. I live 15 minutes away from downtown, so I'm still within the city of Dallas, but I'm a little bit more on the outskirts. I was fortunate enough to live down the block from a mall, but obviously that's closed, so I can't go there.
Yeah.
I actually have a patio, and I live. My apartment building has a dog park. They have closed our pool, which sucks.
Wait, do you have a dog?
I do not have a dog, but I see them all day.
Oh, so I guess I'm wondering, like, do you go down to the dog park and just like claim a dog?
Yeah.
Well, so my friend who lives in my building, she's my neighbor. She has a dog, so I'll take Bella out for a walk if I need to.
Oh, nice.
You know what I mean? I'll go outside.
Yeah.
But I'm fortunate enough that I have friends that are around here. Like one of my friends has a house. My other friend lives in Plano. So if we travel, I travel by car, and I can go to a house if I need to, or I can go somewhere else and like be in a outdoor setting, not necessarily in the public. But I mean, people down here are kind of moving around, not like normal, but there's still a lot of essential workers out here that have to get around every day. So there's traffic, not like normal, but there's never been heavy foot traffic in these areas. Like you're not going to see a lot of people walking in my neighborhood. Yeah. Never, not usually. So it's kind of the same for me. It's just the fact that I know I can't go to a restaurant or a bar or the movie theater.
Yeah, you know I mean, like so, I know that like here it's like the fear level of getting it is so much higher, I'm sure, than down there. But yeah, I do know that the threat is coming to the Midwest, especially like right now. Do you have a fear level? Like what is it?
I don't really have a fear level. I don't really walk in fear. Like obviously I take precaution and I'm careful. But for me, it's like, I think it's my religious and spiritual center. It's kind of just like, it's going to be what it's going to be. You know, I think I've survived so much. I'm like, I don't think God's really brought me to 2020 to take me out by this. You know, I just know that there's a higher plan. And it's weird because I'm kind of anxious to see what's going to happen next. But I do want people to be smart. You know what I mean? And just to be safe.
Yeah, but this is America, so nobody's smart.
Yeah, and I mean, I pray that by the time if it does get here and it's that full blown, that our state and our government and our governors kind of have a better plan in place, and the hospital systems will be different. But for me, I'm just kind of enjoying the time I have to just kind of focus and be by myself and just kind of meditate in my own peace. And I'm not really trying to disrupt that. Like I don't watch the news. I just kind of go through the explore page and see what the headlines are for what the updates are. Because it's if you overwhelm yourself with this fear, you won't get any sleep. Like you can't live life every day in fear. We can't. Yeah. It just will consume you, and it won't help you at all. So trying to be good, guys.
Chloe, we love you. Take care of yourself. Continue to be safe down there. We'll be checking in on you. And
steal us a dog from the dog park.
Yeah, why not?
You don't want any of these badass, spoiled-ass dogs. I can't stand them.
No, bring us Bella.
Oh, no, Bella's cool. She's cool. But thank you, guys. I love you guys. Y'all be careful, please, up there.
Will do.
I appreciate you.
Shout out to Cleverly Chloe. Shout out to Savon the Don. And shout out to Crooked Eye Jeff. Are we back tomorrow?
We are back every day forever.
As always, guys. Now for real, for real.
Sure.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.